So, referral marketing for therapists. How to build a referral relationship network that generates private pay clients. So, this is something that was actually really integral because, like, when we were starting our private practice, a lot of people think like we are just doing like Facebook ads or we were doing like outreach or we were doing like videos, and that actually was not necessarily the case in the beginning. We started with having a very solid foundation of referral partnerships that send us the highest quality like private pay clients. So I want to kind of share what that looked like for you guys, so you guys don't have to kind of take as much time as it took for us to reach six figures in our therapy practice. Now, one thing is like one of the fastest ways to grow is that referral relationships can drive consistent client growth because you're tapping into the not only experience of other people but also their entire like life's relationships, right? Every single day we're meeting either new people, or especially if you're like working a position where you're constantly meeting new people or constantly getting fed new interactions with people. So over a lifetime that can be between like thousands if not tens of thousands of people, right? And a lot of those people are gonna be needing therapy at some point in their life. So by you learning how to tap into other people's life or their life relationships, you're gonna be able to grow exponentially faster than most of your other peers, right? So many therapists focus only on social media, Psychology Today, or even having like just like their website. Now, successful practices often grow through local relationships, professional networking, referral partnerships, and like visibility in their community. Now, the good news is you do not need hundreds and hundreds of referral partners. You really only need a few strong relationships that can produce like referrals for the next couple of years, right? Now, excuse me. Some good referral sources are doctors, schools, churches, coaches, gyms, wellness providers, chiropractors. It's really going to depend on your specialty, right? Who's going to be the best like partner for you, right? And it's also going to vary depending on your personality type as well, right? Who do you get along with? So for me, right, one reason why I even like started our mentorship program for therapists was not just because like I had equity stake in a private practice, but because all of my friends ended up being like therapists, right? I just gravitated towards them. We talked the same language. We knew some of the same stuff. We had gone through some of the same experiences, and it was just very easy, right? And like just to understand what a niche was within there. Now it's the same thing with referral partners, right? You're gonna have to have like a niche of people that respond better to you than what they do for every other person, right? So now for doctors, right, it's really good because doctors can find clients that have stress, anxiety, burnout, depression, even sleep issues, right? And it's really cool because a lot of the stuff that the physicians help with and the physicians are checking for are oftentimes something that our service can help with, right? So doctors tend to be a really good referral partner. Now, doctors online can be very challenging to partner up with, right? Because in a lot of cases, if you try and do like internet-based outreach to get a referral partner as a doctor, like let's say you send like an email to them, oftentimes you're going to run into their either admin or the front desk people, right? And their job is to actively stop news that is not urgent or essential from getting to the physician, right? Because the physician is oftentimes very busy. And it's not that they don't have any time for anything or time to talk to you. It's just that they're constantly moving from place to place to place. And if it's not like something they've made time for, it's really hard for them to kind of work that in, right? So in a lot of cases, you have to use like some different types of marketing in order to get in front of them. Now, we have what's called an HCV method or an HVC, right? HVC method that we kind of give you guys to the program. We're gonna tell you more about what that looks like as far as like what that structure looks like to go and get in front of referral partners in a couple minutes. Okay, next, schools as referral sources. So if you work mostly with children, teens, parents, right, or people who have like behavioral concerns or academic stress, right, schools can be a really good referral source. Now, for me, right, we had access to like to schools only because my partner Wendy, she was she used to be a school psychologist, right? So the cool thing with that was she already had like connections to different like principals, and she can go inside of like these different industry events, right? Just part of her schools, and then as that kind of like happened, right, then you just get more and more connections like that. Now, if you don't have that, like if that's not your background, like where your job was in, or where you like worked, right, you can still access those, right? So you can do like community colleges, you can go to children's PTA meetings, especially if you have like children that are in certain ages, like the same ages that you help with, right? You can do scholastic fundraisers. You can go to after-school programs like Kumon or Mathnasium. You can be around like robotics clubs. Basically, you want to be wherever like children are actively like engaging in something, but you have access to the parents, right? Because like if you can't necessarily get direct access to the school itself, then it's not that bad. It's like you can still have like a tertiary access to the school system by connecting with the parents, right? There's also different like scholastic events that you can go join, that you can also be around and you can be a part of, right? To go and meet some of the people. You can also follow the principals on LinkedIn, right? You can go talk to, if there's like a guidance counselor, right? You can actually go and find them on LinkedIn as well, and you can start building those relationships with them. We'll talk about how to build relationships in a second. Let's just kind of go through different idea sources first. Next, churches and faith communities. So a trusted therapist can become very valuable referral partners. Now, one challenge, depending on like the churches and stuff, they can be a little bit challenging because they will be like, oh, that's not real, or oh, that's science, or oh, they'll be like, just pray about it, pray about it, it'll go away, kind of thing. So that is one challenge that I found with churches, and why I don't like necessarily make them my primary referral partnership. But in some cases, if you have like the right church, the right organization, then it can actually be a really good kind of referral partner as well. Because in a lot of cases, not only do you get one church, but maybe they have like satellite offices or satellite churches, right? So if you get one, and there's like maybe like 200 people in the congregation, if they have a satellite, then you might be able to go get another 200. If they have multiple like branches, and you can just keep going from church and building relationships like that. So it can be really good. It's one of those high risk, high reward type referral partners, but it can be really good. Next thing could be coaches as referral sources. So life coaches, business coaches, wellness coaches. This is actually interesting, right? Because like in my journey as a business coach, you often find that a lot of the things that stops a lot of people from really growing their business comes down to what's inside of our mind, not necessarily like our business skills, right? I've had it where like someone, let's say they had the marketing script, they knew exactly what to say. The person wanted to give them, payment for like whatever they were selling, and the person sabotaged at the last moment, right? That can sometimes be like maybe they need some therapy, right? But that comes from like being a business coach. So if you know other business coaches, you can actually go in contact. Same with life coaches, right? Oftentimes life coaches, they try to do stuff that you do, but they're not necessarily qualified, so their clients are going to hit a wall. And then being able to kind of refer to like the next level up, which is going to be you, right, is going to be very helpful for them. Same thing with wellness coach. Same thing with like wellness coaches. Now, wellness coaches can be pretty good because people who are trying to get healthy, in a lot of cases, like they're trying to get healthy inside and out. So they're going to be either sharing certain things with their coaches, or they're going to be trying to like find like the next level of performance, right? A lot of performance coaches are really good because then they can look for like a sports therapist or a sports psychologist, right? So it can actually be really helpful if you get around people like this. Same thing with like if you like sporting coaches, like maybe it's like a kid's little league team, and they know that some people kind of need some support. They could go talk to the parents of the kids and tell them to go see you, right? So all coaches in general are pretty good as well. I kind of like that. Next thing, gyms and fitness communities. Now, again, this is like really, I would say it's good for people that are either super high performers or super low performers. Now, when I say that, like sometimes like there's a therapy element to someone trying to lose weight, and they have like a lot of either trauma, or they have unhealed kind of repressed emotions that they are not either able to kind of confront, or they're not able to to really handle and have that conversation with, right? So being able to have someone like you to turn to, who these fitness either coaches or the personal trainers can either recommend their clients go to, or the gym can like kind of like send people to, it can be like really hard for these people to actually get results. So you can actually boost the gym and the personal trainer's results by helping out their clients with some of the stuff that you already naturally, as part of your profession, are good at helping people with. Okay, chiropractors, wellness providers. I like this, right? Chronic. A lot of times this chronic tension, right, and burnout, and that people deal with like stress. It's also connected to their nervous system as well, right? So if that's your specialty of helping people with like stress and burnout, chiropractors can be amazing referral partners. Especially, plus there's also chiropractors that work just specifically with like kids too, right? So if like you specialize in like kids or early development, right? Then having chiropractors that also deal with like people under a certain age can be very helpful for your cause as well. Attorneys as referral sources. So family law, divorce, custody, trauma cases, very self-explanatory. Personally, I don't like lawyers the best. I don't dislike them, but I like selling things to lawyers. I don't necessarily like partnering with lawyers. Like I used to sell like art for my parents, and like lawyers were really great at like doing that. But like if it wasn't something that either directly benefited them, it kind of felt like it was very hard to actually get in contact with them. Right, but that's just my experience. You might have all of your friends being like lawyers, right? And this is why it's very important. Why it's like this is a good starter list, and it's giving you ideas, but you're going to have to find that for yourself. And like if I'm working with you in our mentorship program, of course I could walk you through like which one would be the best for you. But like as you're watching this video, this is just a list, right? It has to be personalized for your experiences, right? I was talking to this lady the other day, and she was like, "Yeah, I heard this therapist got into like 5 different schools, and then like she got like 20 different clients." It's like, yeah, that's my other student, yes, but the reason why she was able to do that was because she had a background in the school district. All of her friends are either teachers or even substitute teachers, so they could actually brute force her into the organization by connecting her with the right people. If you've never even had a friend who's a teacher, or you didn't even like going to school when you were in school, that's going to be really hard for you to do, right? But one thing I know is that you go to church at least 3 times a week, right? One for the Sunday service, one for like Wednesday night service, and sometimes you help out on Fridays. Maybe we should look into churches for you, because you have a much deeper affinity within churches than you might have with the school district, right? So it has to be very customized to you. Other psychiatrists, those are really good as well. Other therapists, so this is good if they either have full caseloads, maybe they have like an outside specialty, maybe they have like an insurance mismatch, right, where maybe they can't take on the insurance person has, so and they don't necessarily are not set up for private pay, right? They can send the clients to you, and you can take them as a private pay client. Same thing with like scheduling issues. Maybe they have some clients that just have a weird schedule, or just can't work out for the time that they have, right? You can actually go and basically get them as a referral. So it's like it's very good. Now these ones, I will admit, are a little bit more challenging, because like sometimes if they see you as other competitors, or there can just kind of like a little bit of drama with going after other therapists for referrals. But if it does work very well. Same thing if like maybe they handle a different specialty than what you do, right? So it's like always look for people who you can kind of collaborate with. Don't necessarily look for people who you're in direct competition with. Even if you're like a person where it's like, oh, I don't see competition, we're all helping people. It's like, yeah, but it's not necessarily about you and how you think. Sometimes it's about how does the other person think, right? Because if the other person thinks you're a competitor, or sees the world differently than you, they might be more reluctant to send things your way. It's just a waste of time to kind of build that relationship. Now, the biggest networking mistake that I see is that people are like trying to get referrals immediately. Okay, it's not that you can't go after referrals immediately. It's just that you have to focus on building the relationships, not necessarily getting something out of it right away. Now, I know it's very counterintuitive. You're like, Bryce, the only reason I'm talking to this person is so I can get something out of it. Yes. But the key is, so you want to make sure that before you start doing and building a relationship, you analyze whether or not this person can actually give you referrals. But then once that happens, you think this person will be very helpful. Now we have to focus on building the relationship. And then, because we already know the referrals are there. It's just The key question is not if they have referrals to send you, it's are they going to send referrals to you? Because they probably know other therapists, they know other people, that people are vying for their time, right? So it's like, what makes them want to give stuff to you, okay? It comes down to your relationship. Now, relationship comes from trust, consistency, professionalism, and genuine connection, okay? Genuine connection, do you like some of the same things? Do you guys have a lot to talk about when you actually communicate? Are they a person who likes to talk to you, or is every single time that they talk, is it just professional stuff? Like, do they only talk to you when they need something or when you need something, right? If that's happening, it's going to be very hard to actually like get them to like you. Next is professionalism. Now, I know this kind of sounds weird because you just said, right, you don't want everything to be professional. Yes, you want them to have a genuine connection to you, but you also want them to respect your skill set as a professional, right? So they're different, but they all lead and feed into each other. Next thing, consistency. Okay, you have to actually check in with the people pretty often, right? At least once a month, right? The same thing you would do with like a friend. Now, depending on how you've had friends in the past, right? You might be a person where it's like you talk to your friends like once every 6 months, right? It doesn't really matter the frequency of it, but just make sure you're doing it consistently. Next thing is just trust, right? That's over time, right? All these things kind of lead into each other, right? Trust is built just from like showing your genuine connection over time, hearing different things, learning from them, having them learn from you, communicating, speaking to life in their situation, right? That's what trust is built through. Okay, and then start thinking long term. Now, the strongest referral relationships take the longest time to develop. You got to think of it like you're kind of like watering, like you're trying to grow a plant, right? Where it's like in the beginning, you have to like water the seeds very consistently, right? But over time, maybe after like 5 years or 3 years or 10 years, right? It's this giant oak tree. You don't even have to water anymore because it's able to take the water up from the roots. Every time it rains, it's able to store some of that water as well, right? So it's like, after a while, you're not going to necessarily need to do the stuff you did in the beginning. And I'm not saying it's going to take you a while, like you do like 5-hour conversations with people. No, it's not like that. But you do need to do a little bit more effort in the beginning, and then you can kind of taper off over time. Okay, how to approach referral partners. Now, it's usually in 4 steps. Introduction, explaining who you help, share your specialty, build familiarity, right? That's what these conversations are like. And I generally give, like, if you're in our mentorship program, I give you, like, a script of, like, how to actually have these conversations, both when you're actually doing the referral relationship and also the approach, right? Because you can approach them a number of different ways. You can approach them with, like, emails, flyers, mailers, brochures. You can do cold just walk into their office, right? You can do, there's a lot of different things you can do, right? Some are going to be a lot easier and more time effective than others, so we give you a myriad of different ways to approach it. But yeah, just the simplest of introduction to a therapist specializing in anxiety and burnout and want to learn more about your work. Very simple. I like coffee chats and I like networking, right? Remember, it's about relationship building. It's not about direct sales pitches, okay? Coffee chat goals, learn about each other's works, explore referral opportunities. Now, when I say stuff like this, right, I know it sounds like a coffee chat in person. The first one I do is I like to do that virtually, right? Because there's no connection. I don't want to be wasting all my time and like driving like 20 minutes or 10 minutes to this like Starbucks or whatever, right? So first I want to meet them online virtually, see if there's even a personality match. From there, then I like to maybe meet them in person if possible. If they're too far away, it doesn't make sense. But I do like doing stuff in person, especially if you have like some time on the weekend or something after work or something. But yeah, so some easy coffee chat questions. Who do you work with? What challenges do you see? What referrals help you the most? So how can you actually help them? So if you're talking to a lawyer, like what kind of clients do you like? Do you like people that just been injured? Do you like people where maybe they have like malpractice, right? Like maybe the doctor messed up their surgery or something. Like who actually is a person who you would actually like for me to refer you? Right now, they're going to want to reciprocate. Now, in our program, I actually give you a script you can use to ask the best questions and present yourself in a very structured way that's customized to you, your background, and personality. I give you that stuff, again, inside our mentorship program. We can help you customize as well, so it just comes across very natural, very practiced, and you get the results you're looking for. Okay? We just kind of talked about this one. Next thing is a follow-up system, okay? One weakness people have is you network one time and you disappear. That's a missed opportunity. You have to keep the relationship going. We can give you specific follow-up scripts and the frequency of when to follow up inside of our program as well, so don't worry about that. Okay, simple follow-up ideas, just in case you're not in a program, is like checking in periodically, sharing resources, congratulating for milestones. If you're on like something like a LinkedIn, it tells you if they get a promotion, it tells you if they get an award, it tells you like as they're doing certain things. Just when it gives the automated message of like wish them a happy birthday, just hit happy birthday and it'll send the message to you. I've had many of our students in our program actually get referrals from doing a happy birthday message. Right? Same thing with sharing resources. Maybe you find like a set of like 10 to 15 resources or articles that are maybe helpful for that person's profession or industry. You put them either like on a Google document or you schedule emails out for once a month. So you find 5 articles, you send one today, you schedule one to be sent a month from now, you schedule the next one to be sent a month after that, a month after that, a month after that. You have 5 to 6 months worth of follow-up. That doesn't take you very much time to do, right? But it's like about structuring and thinking that way. If you don't know how to think about that or just follow up is very challenging, again, I can help you. Just reach out to me and I'll help you out with that. You can also engage with social media posts, like write a comment on their post, put a like on their post. You can send them referrals. You can invite them to other events. Like it doesn't have to be super structured. It just has to be something you do consistently, right? I would ideally like to do like either like once every 15 days or once a month, right? It doesn't have to be that in depth. Right, a very simple monthly referral plan, 5 outreach messages. Some of these means like connecting with 5 of those referral partners, have 2 networking conversations, and then just do 1 follow-up outreach per week, right? So once the person's already done the conversation with you, follow them like once a week is a little bit much. Once a month, right? Just at the bare minimum once a month, you can speed up that as you kind of get better. Right, I had a referral partner. I talked to him every single day, right? But that's because I actually like talking to him, and we were always talking about the business, how things were going, right? We'd be talking about different strategies and stuff as well, right? But that's a bit extreme, right? But that's why he gave me so many referrals, is because we were really good friends, right? I never actually met him. I don't know. I think I almost met him in person, but he was in a different state, so we never actually got a chance to meet in person. But again, so in our mentorship program, we provide basically it's called HVC, right? High volume connection system. And it basically shows you a more automated way to get in front of more people to potentially get referral partnership meetings without you having to like manually do everything. So a lot of the students in our program, like we help you basically get in front of like 100 new referral people per week, right? Within that 100, you're gonna get between like 1 to 4 meetings, right? But out of those 4 meetings, if that ends up giving you like $1,000 or $2,000 a month of like monthly clients and patients, it's so worth it. It's so crazy. Cool. Next to networking events. So Chamber of Commerce, wellness events, professional associations. We kind of talked about those in the beginning, but just very simple. Next, community groups, business networking groups, healthcare events, right? A lot of the best ones do require you to pay something, right, to be a part of them. So if your money's a little bit tighter in the beginning, you might want to go with like free stuff first, and then you kind of work into it, right? Now, when I say free, it's going to be like more of like talking directly to the referral partner rather than going to an event with a bunch of them, right? It's going to be like more one-on-one focused. Remember, you don't need to work the room at any event. It's just focus on like people you think can generally help you and focus on genuine relationships. That's really the key. Okay, long-term goal, you're trying to become trusted, visible, memorable, and easy to refer. You get those? Super simple. Now, again, the reason why it's so important, I just want people to think, like, I know a therapist would be great for this person. They meet someone, the mom's like, oh yeah, Tim's been having trouble in school. He seems to either be getting into fights, or he always lashes out at people, and I don't exactly know why is he so angry. Your referral partner thinks, okay, cool, I know Susie. Susie is definitely a great fit for this person. Very simple, very easy. Yeah, and that's the bare nuts and bones of really how to grow a referral partnership network. Okay, so if you want help building a private practice, like any of the stuff we talk about in the school group or this YouTube channel, and you're like, hey, I like this, but I need to be customized for me because either you're really busy with your job and don't have time to think about all this stuff, or you just want someone to help you out. Either way, click the link inside the description below this video. Let's book a call with me. Let's see if I can help inside of our mentorship program, okay? I will talk to you soon. Have a good rest of your day.